Yeah.
Yes.
It's complicated.
It's a wicked solution.
Is it? Let me play devil's advocate. Is it?
I wonder what this video is
Some people
about.
might say that's what it is.
Currently. Some people. Do we know those people? You heard this thing? Nigga said.
Chill out.
All right, let's see. My boy, it's complicated. Always has that logic on his side.
Why are there so many women today who say they don't need a man?
I mean, because if they want to go 50-50 on things, I just don't need them.
Because there's a lot of bum-ass men out in the world who don't do enough, so us women can supply for ourselves now.
Because they're feminists and they like to be feminists.
If a man has
Very
friends, doesn't want kids, hires a maid and hires a prostitute, why would a man need a woman?
Ooh.
I don't know how to answer this question.
Because of human connection, of meaningful connection, to correct myself.
That's true.
There's nothing that replaces the authenticity of a partnership.
Right. There you go.
Men need women in a sense because, you know, I don't know, like,
You know.
you know what I mean?
Try again.
True. You can't really get true intimacy with a prostitute. You can bust a nut, but that's about it.
Yo,
Why do
pause.
women proudly chant?
You think he knows from experience?
You think they had that conversation on the way home?
Baby. Honey.
Pussy runs the world, but then also complain guys only want sex.
I don't know why they complain about that, but pussy definitely runs the world. You can make a man do a lot of things.
Does pussy actually run the world, or does it just control the men who built and maintain the world?
You know what? I feel attacked by that statement.
Oh, of course you do.
Men cannot live without sex. And it really does run the world.
She's sick.
I think it only controls weak men. I don't think he runs any strong men. In fact, the men that rule the world, pussy bends for them. You know what I mean? They, don't control a strong man. A strong man can replace the woman.
Women rule the world.
Facts or cat?
Nah, he got it. He's spitting.
But then again, I'm thinking about all these like government officials that are getting like bumped for doing wicked wild shit, and it's like I'm trying to kind of like gauge, you know. I don't have the answer. It's just like, you know, I'm taking what he's. Well, no, I'm trying to in my brain trying to like come to my own conclusion, because on one end I see what he's saying, on the other end there's, you know what I'm saying, like officials, government officials that are doing wicked wild shit.
But he said he said weak men. Them niggas are weak. That's the caveat.
So see, I'm still trying to get to my own conclusion, because like, who else is running the world if it's not the government?
True
You know
enough.
what I'm saying?
But I think that you could get to that position and still be weak in certain ways.
I mean, you don't have to be 100% weak as a man. You may be weak in certain subjects or
areas.
avenues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And probably women is one of them.
You don't have self-control.
You know
That's a
what I'm
form
saying?
of weakness, you know.
That's a fact. Discipline.
Discipline.
World, but she just manages it.
Do you think there was ever a time when
But women rule the world, but she just manages it.
Do you think there was ever a time when pussy didn't run the world?
No. Women's always been the neck of the foundation. The men is just the head. We draw shit.
Wouldn't that mean women always had power?
Yes. But men cannot accept women having power, so we just have to stand in the back and pretend that we don't have power and use a reverse psychology and just like pretend that we don't, because they like to say they right, so we just like, all right, and give you the idea and then you just say, yeah, it's your idea. Okay.
So why are women complaining about past oppression if they always had pussy power?
They want equal rights, and that's bullshit.
Personally, I just think they kind of like are backwards in their reasoning on most things. You know what I mean? They want to feel a certain amount of power, and that's the only thing that they can kind of reach to say that they have this power over males. So,
do you think there was ever a time when pussy didn't run the world?
Probably not, no.
Wouldn't that mean that women always had power?
Yeah, they definitely did, but we just make men do all the, you know, hard labor work.
Women say they want equal rights, But then when a man talks to them the way they talk to another man, then they say, oh, you're offending me, or oh, you're doing this. But if you want equal rights and you want to be treated equally, then it has to be like always. Like it can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna put my hand on a man, and then like when he does it back, like, oh, I'm a woman. But you want equal rights, or you want to like put yourself in a man position, but then you don't want like the actions to come. But only actions you want is benefit.
Think about that though.
Equal rights get equal left.
Equal rights and equal lefts. That's what some people say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what y'all really think about stuff like that?
I mean, I just think that in general, you shouldn't put your hands on anybody.
Okay. So in terms of
everyone
like,
deserves the same respect.
Right. I mean, of course, not just physical, but also as well as just like certain roles, right? So, for example, like, are you guys going to be okay with, per se, you doing certain stuff that are socially...
Traditionally masculine?
Right.
Examples?
All right. For example, if you decide to stay home, like you're the person that takes doing the nurturing, you know what I mean, for the children. And then the wife is the one that's getting the bread.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay.
but like, yo, his face, you see that shit? I feel like if there was a relationship where that was the case,
right,
then I feel like it would be fine because the woman is taking on certain roles and the man is taking on certain roles that the woman can't do at that time, given their personality and their situation, and vice versa. Right. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very situational, and they're both filling in parts that they can feel based on who they are and what they can do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm assuming in the scenario that you painted that they're both good at the roles that they play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm just stirring the pot, but like, say for example, all right. So like, would you say it's okay, in this terms, how they're talking about like equal, being on the same footing? Do you feel like it's okay for men to challenge women to be on the same footing as men?
I mean, in what way? Because I don't feel like...
So in the terms of like, okay, for example, if there's a certain criteria that you have to meet in order to, for example, like to get a job, right? Or to get some type of position, right? And it's one that's more on a physical standpoint.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if the requirement is 10 pull-ups.
Yeah.
Right?
Military, it sounds a lot like military.
You should challenge somebody for 10 pull-ups, right? Do you feel like it should...
No. Because we're not basing this based on, like, let's be equal and let's be equal opportunities.
Right.
It's about that. I feel like, especially in those kind of positions, because if we think about like military and shit like that, this is something where like shit as far as like equality and equal opportunities for people of different things, that's important and all, but like you're dealing with people's lives. So whoever's most fit for the job should be the person to get the job.
Whether it's a man or a woman.
Exactly,
you know
because now, like, if you are not able to do something physically that could negatively impact the team, the unit, you're only as good as your weakest link.
Right. So in that case, do you feel like in any sense of the word, would you say you can agree on that there isn't necessarily an equal footing in terms of
physicality?
Physicality.
I mean, that's biological. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that's...
In other words, anything else, there should be...
I mean, but I think outside of, like, that, there isn't a whole lot that I feel like inherently there's a bias on, like, either side. There may be some that maybe slip in my mind, but I can't really think of anything. Like, if we're just talking about, like, you know, somebody's ability to lead a team or something like that, I don't think that is based on gender. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, depending on what your gender may be, it may come with its own set of, you know, can of worms. Like, if you're a woman in a workplace, people may not be as likely to take you seriously. But if you have the chops for it, you can't deny somebody who's good at what they do.
Yeah. Right. I feel like if we're looking at it from like the at-home perspective that you initially brought up, I just looking at that scenario, I feel like there's not really any issue with the you know, the mixing of the roles, you know what I'm saying, or trading roles with what's traditionally masculine or traditionally feminine, you know what I'm saying? It's all about what my boy said, who's good at what and who can fulfill that part better than the other. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, to me, I feel like I respect any man who's going to be there for their son or their daughter, you know what I'm saying, regardless of whether they stay at home dads or they work, you know what I'm saying? If you there for your kids, I respect you, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to do the right thing, you feel me? That's the most important thing, you know what I'm saying? You present. And shout out to y'all.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is just based off of, like, sometimes the back and forth between, like, men and women is just based off of pride to me.
Yeah, largely.
Pride and ego.
Largely, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has it.
Fictional actions.
How many female-dominated industries can you think of that aren't related to sex or beauty?
Not a lot, and that should change. Society it's set up for that.
How do we change that?
Great question.
Uh-huh.
Let women take over. Change the mindsets.
How many female-dominated industries can you think of that aren't related to sex or beauty?
Christina Aguilera.
What?
She is my idol. Janis Joplin, she's my idol. I am a singer-songwriter, and they have never based sex off of their career because they're so talented to do that.
How many female-dominated industries can you think of that aren't related to sex or beauty?
Nursing, right?
Not.
That's the medical. I don't know if that's like you consider that its own thing per se, but
yeah, maybe that's
one.
I think that's accurate.
Not one.
Are men more likely to use power to get sex, or are women more likely to use sex to get power?
Ooh. I think women are more likely to use sex to get power.
What is the difference between sexually empowering women versus sexually objectifying women?
I personally don't think there is a difference. I think those are the same thing, one and the same. I think they basically are, it's almost like if someone's using reverse psychology on you, like they want to be able to use your sexuality to advertise things. They want to be able to use your sexuality for whatever purpose that they twist the woman into. All they have to do is, it's kind of like in the Bible, they said, no, you should want to be like God, or the serpent said you could be like God. The woman falls into that very easily, so her head gets blown up.
I think the difference between objectifying and empowering is the woman's status.
Oh, because you can objectify someone who's still like just anybody.
Yeah, but I guess if you're in a position of like status or power, then it's more empowering.
I feel like you can still objectify a woman who has status.
But
I guess it just depends on like.
I think that's the only difference is status. It's the same thing, but the status makes you empowered in one situation, and then when you're not in the position of status, it's viewed as objectifying.
Call it empowerment, and she'll do whatever she thinks is empowering.
So isn't it entirely subjective?
Yes, all of it.
Do you think the sexual empowerment of women in any way contributes to their own objectification?
Yes. I think it's all a trick to take advantage of them.
Most female-dominated industries are sex or beauty-related, correct?
Yes. That's the way things are right now. That should change.
Well, right, but why would women want to give up their power if they can use it to,
Because it shouldn't be the only power that we're able to hold in society.
Well, whether it should
When you don't give women a fair chance to gain power, they're gonna do whatever it takes.
Well, is there anything?
She has some wicked eyes.
Yeah, facts.
Nah, she sounds like a parody of a woman.
Like I was just thinking that in my head. I don't know who though.
Yeah, like she sounds like she's like, the problem is because like it's like I don't know.
Like the stereotypical like.
Yeah. Yep.
Facts.
Stopping women from getting power any other way?
Yes, men.
Well, I mean, but men also give women their power, correct?
Not enough of it.
Well, obviously, if all
Not
the men,
in the ways it matters.
If all the men in the world were gay, how would women get power?
Because they're fucking women.
What does that mean?
And better than men.
Yo, boys. Clip that. Someone gotta clip that.
Not a fan.
You could tell that
I can see the thumbnail now.
Is where she's at because of how she looks, bro. Like she's they
don't think there's much up there.
Too many guys just let some shit slide like because of how she looks. She's obviously attractive. Like nobody like I feel like nobody confronts her. Nobody confronts her, bro, about how, hello, guys, I think I got here right at the right time.
Shout out to Etienne. Let's go.
Also, music say airhead, respectfully.
They're strong and better than men.
Well, right, but I'm saying if women couldn't use sex to control men, then how would they get power?
Skip.
Women are more likely to use sex to get power.
What is the difference between sexually empowering women versus sexually objectifying women?
You know who she looks like?
Okay, sexually.
She looks like Timothy Chalamet.
I don't know who that is.
That sounds mad familiar.
You ever seen Dune?
Oh, Dune? Okay, yeah.
The main character in Dune.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
yeah, like the T area.
Yeah,
the T area.
The T area. I like the usage of that.
Women would definitely mean like uplifting and like complimenting, like, "Ooh, girl, you look good, but not too close," because it could easily be turned into, "Ooh, girl, you look too good." That's a whole ass snack, and then now that's harassment. So there's a fine line in between the two.
Depending on who says it.
Well, isn't it entirely subjective?
Subjective to your own intentions, yes. Like, so maybe your tone of voice or your implication in the fact, or however you were trying to come off at the matter, So I think it all has to do with the subject to intention, right?
Men don't have a say in women's sex life.
Do you think the sexual empowerment of women in any way contributes to their own objectification?
No.
Does the fact that porn and OnlyFans exist prove that women are okay being objectified as long as they're getting paid?
No. It means that we can use our body the way that we want to without men's control.
Do you consider sex work to be real work?
Yes. Yes. And if you don't, you suck.
Why are women more accepting of women who can sell sex, but are less likely to accept a man who can buy it?
Because it's empowering to be able to do what you want with your body when you want to be able to do it.
But isn't that like shaming your own customers?
No.
Well, how can you be a victim of your own product?
Because it's my fucking body.
My body, my choice.
My body, my choice.
Why do women often claim victimhood by the very thing they use to empower themselves?
Oh, you see her eyes? Mm-hmm. Look at her eyes.
She about to turn up.
As soon as he said victimhood too, like, what was that?
Why do women often claim victimhood by the very thing they use to empower themselves?
Nani?
I believe in that question. I do believe that women do that Me Too shit, and I don't believe in that. Like you say you want to like empower yourself and then use this as like, like a beneficial factor, but then you claim victim, and I think it's just a money aspect.
Does the fact that porn and OnlyFans exist prove that women are okay being objectified as long as they're getting paid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you consider sex work to be real work?
No.
Damn.
Well, yeah, for porn stars and OnlyFans.
That's literally what he said.
They're millionaires off OnlyFans.
Why is porn legal but prostitution isn't?
Tell me that. Why? And tell me this. Why can you go out and have sex with 20 million men for free and then nothing happens? But as soon as you want to put a price on your worth, it's illegal. Hello. That's the question.
Pause. Do you believe? Isn't it legal in certain places? I thought it was illegal in Las Vegas.
I don't think it's legal, but I think it's like,
But there's brothels in Las Vegas.
I think, they just look the other way. Like, it's just, that's the only shit to do there from what I understand, from what I heard.
I mean, but if there's a brothel there, then it's kind of an understanding. You know what I mean? There's not brothels everywhere.
Because I don't know. I'm not educated on this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I know it's specific to Las Vegas. They have brothels and shit. Like, they have escorts. There's escort services.
But I think that's...
Okay. All right.
People don't... I guess they put it in a different tax bracket.
So, all right. Allegedly, it's legal
in Nevada
on a county by county basis if the county population does not exceed 700,000 people. Then it's only legal in state licensed brothels.
Yeah, so to a certain degree, it is legal.
Yes.
In Vegas in particular.
Okay.
Only in
I
Nevada,
guess federally it's not. Obviously it's not. But I mean, there's workarounds.
I believe all adults have sexual needs.
Of course. Of course. You couldn't
Buy
live
a
life.
vibrator.
You could not live life without sex. It's impossible.
Should lonely men be expected to satisfy their sexual needs by watching porn?
Yes and no. If they're really desperate, then yes.
We out to Nevada, boys.
If they're women, then they should not watch porn.
They can if that's what they want. Then I think that it should go that way.
I fuck
or
with
by
her.
prostitutes.
She's very real.
If so, why would men still crave sex when porn is free and available all over the internet?
Because you don't get you know how long it takes for you to find the right porn.
Because women don't understand that men actually are
Can't
more
relate.
horny than women themselves. And they actually need a sex life, otherwise they cannot function at all. And I know that because I've had like ex-boyfriends that cannot live without sex.
Do you consider sex work to be real work?
Not really, no.
But do you think most women consider sex work to be real work?
Yeah, the empowerment thing.
Do y'all consider sex work to be sex work?
It's more than it is, so that they could.
Do y'all consider sex work to be sex work? I mean, real work?
I feel like it depends how you do it.
What's real work? I mean, they're getting paid, so
that's literally my body on it. Like, if you getting paid for something, it's real work.
Yeah.
Anything once it has labor involved, I think is work regardless.
I'm trying to figure out though if like how you like file like for taxes on
probably
it.
1099 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
but
it's
you
not
still have
work
to,
like.
you still have to put a category when you file, because I'm under a. I don't know if I should be saying this shit.
I mean, I guess if it's like
I guess it would just technically like
entertainment. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
I'm trying to figure out what you would categorize.
$20
If that's
is
like,
$20.
because I'm thinking if that's your main form of income, and that's what you're filing taxes for, like, what do you put? Would it be entertainment?
I mean, yeah. I mean, depend if you're like I don't know, if you're a brothel kind of woman. I don't know what you would put for that. I don't know what you would put for that.
Yeah.
But like OnlyFans, I would imagine that's entertainment.
Yeah.
You feel good about it, kind of thing. But I don't believe it is real work at all.
Why are women more accepting of women?
That kind of thing.
Yo, what?
Oh, that's that new joint, trippy.
I don't even know where we're
right there.
Kind of, make it sound like it's more than it is, so that they can feel good about it, kind of thing. But I don't believe it is real work at all.
Why are women more accepting of women who can sell sex, but are less likely to accept a man who can buy it?
Ooh, that's a
Hold up,
that's
that
a good
pause.
question. More double.
That's
standards.
That's a weird question, though. What do you mean by that? He says, why are women more accepting of women who sell sex than men who could buy it? What woman is not accepting of a man who could buy sex?
I think he probably means like societally, women like frown, like they just like applaud the empowerment of women selling like the OnlyFans type of thing,
right?
But they don't necessarily like applaud the guy.
More so the wording of it, I guess. He said who could, not do. You know what I mean? He's saying it's different. If you would have said someone who does buy sex, I could understand it. But I mean, if anything, a woman might want to. A woman would want a nigga who could buy it because he could buy. Even if he's not, he's buying other things. He has money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you a broke ass nigga, you buying sex, I ain't gonna front. You're a loser. Respectfully, you're a loser.
They don't like reality very much.
Isn't that shaming your own customers?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Isn't that like complaining about crackheads while you're selling crack?
Exactly the same. Yeah.
I'll fuck with him.
If prostitution was legal, do you think we'd have a better society?
Ooh.
The oldest profession in the book.
Not really, to be honest with you. I can't say I think we'd be better as a society at all. Not really.
Yes, I do consider sex work is real work. We're the work of all time. We're going to last longer than any other industry. We've been here all before, okay, and we're still going to be here. When computers and everything take over, they're still going to want a physical woman to get it done, okay? We're going to be here.
Computers?
If prostitution was legal, do you think we'd have a better society?
Yes.
Why?
Her lips.
Everybody would be happy.
Honestly, no, because I think we need to go back to old school values more so than this like do you boo boo type of thing that's going on. I think that.
What type of old school values is she talking about? She's talking about the traditional male and female bond,
roles
like
and such.
Yeah, is that what she's talking about?
Maybe.
It's more important to re-register ourselves with old school values, being committed, and making that investment into each other and making that commitment, because it's scary, yeah.
Shout out all the
but
trees.
it means
Why
something.
you put
It
the
means
raccoon?
Coon
Do you think
gang.
the solution could be prostitution, the world's oldest institution?
Yes. I don't see anything wrong with prostitution as long as it's
Consensual.
consensual, legal, and safe.
I think the solution
Yeah.
is always prostitution, but it's a way of saying like that, because not prostitution is sex work. Because prostitution is like it's like a derogatory term, and it's meant to like say like people on the corner or like a less than person. Sex work is more like therapy, spending time, not just like that, because it's not always that. It's more to.
Oh, wait, with therapy.
Therapy, right?
You don't feel like that type of stuff can be a form of therapeutic?
But
I'm trying to
therapy?
figure out what she means spending time.
That's like an escort probably type
That's
of thing.
escort, but that's not sex though. At that point, is it? Is it really sex work at that point? It's just you just
Isn't that what
spending time.
escorts do? Am I like?
Huh.
I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry, I've never done it myself. I can't.
So, question: What if, say, for example, if in the terms of spending time, what if the person is just like that, where they just need a physical touch?
Like, so you gotta detail that a little bit more. Like,
So it's not necessarily intercourse, but just laying down with a shorty,
like cuddling or some shit like
Yeah.
that. I wouldn't consider that sex work at that point, because what's sexual about that? You know what I'm saying? It's not very. It could lead. It's I guess it's an association with sex, because what I mean, that often is followed by sex, or what I mean, it comes immediately after sex, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's not really inherently sexual. So I don't know if I would consider that sex work. There's actual professional cuddlers. I've seen like people who do it. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard about that joint,
This nigga said, I'm out with the application. So you get a big burly man like, come close to me.
I'm like, hey, yo, baby girl.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm uncomfortable.
We're more than just that.
Well, what about when it's like done, in brothels as opposed to streetwalkers?
No, okay, so that's when they can put a price on it, then that's when it's okay. But it's like, you're not gonna tax me for my body. Like, how dare you try to tax me, or like I have to pay for your service, like, and I'm the one doing the service. Like, no, I do not believe
how
in that.
taxes
Like,
work?
no,
Yeah.
How can you tax us for something that's done for free every fucking day? No.
Wouldn't relationships be built on love rather than sex and manipulation?
I think that the opposite would happen if prostitution was legalized.
Well, if a guy could get sex anytime he wanted, really easily, why would he need to be in a relationship for any reason other than love?
Because if you're in a relationship for love, you should be able to get sex anytime you want to and not find it elsewhere.
I don't
But
think
that's not
any
the
of
point.
those
She didn't get-
relationships
she
are
didn't
built
get it.
on love anyway. Like, I think all of this is a big excuse. Like, we're making excuses just to go about this daily dance.
Wouldn't women be more accountable and make more effort to create loving relationships?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
Wouldn't it remove any legal liabilities for
My boy
men
said
trying to
dark
get
times.
sex?
Yes.
Wouldn't it remove the possibility
Yes.
of rejection?
Yeah.
Wouldn't men be more fulfilled and less angry and violent?
Yes.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be government regulated and generate tax revenue?
Yeah. Like I mean, I heard it's certain places in near Nevada and near in Las Vegas where they actually making tax money off of it. Hey, people gonna do it regardless. It's just gonna happen.
So can you think of any reasons not to legalize it?
No.
No.
Do you think if prostitution was cheap and accessible, we'd have a better society?
Huh.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
And
Oh.
safe. Safer
Oh.
society. Because it would be included in law and protected by law.
So don't women often look for sugar daddies and men often look for trophy wives?
Yes.
Don't women often look for sugar daddies and men look for trophy wives?
Yes.
Do you believe it's generally true men objectify women sexually while women objectify men financially?
Absolutely.
Isn't it generally true that men seek the hottest woman they can afford while women seek the richest man they can attract?
Definitely.
Don't men want trophy wives and women want sugar daddies?
That's the game.
So how is
That's
dating
the
not just a
game.
loose form of prostitution?
That's all it is. It's prostitution in slow motion, low key.
So then why would it be bad to legalize it if it's already happening?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you got me on that one, I guess.
Why should men pay for the opportunity to maybe get sex instead of just paying for sex?
I know. Go with the sure thing. I would go with the sure thing. Instead of taking a woman out and spending $200 on dinner, you know, might as well just give her that $200.
Straight to the point, yo. Yo, T say he just happy to be there, yo. That's funny.
You're paying for the time and the woman's worth. You're not paying for an action or a transaction.
But wouldn't the marketplace determine what the woman's worth is?
No, the woman determines her worth.
Well, she can ask a certain price, but
yeah, she can ask, and if he feels that she's valuable enough, then he will supply that demand.
Wouldn't it end simping and shift the sexual marketplace to where women have to compete for the men?
I guess I don't really see how it does that.
Well, why should men pay for the opportunity to get sex instead of just paying for sex?
Yeah,
Pause.
I mean, I can see that.
If it was legal, do you think that it would be more common for people to do it?
If it was legal,
I think so.
But for people to
just buy it?
Of course. I mean, if it's
I
legal.
think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you think there'd still be a stigma attached to it? Because that's the real reason I think why a lot of people don't do it.
I think it'll probably end up.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think eventually it would be destigmatized.
You think so?
Yeah, that's why I think so.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just based off of my line of thinking at this current moment. I never really gave it any thought.
Because I mean, like, respectfully, like, this shit's illegal, but niggas do it all the time anyway. Just like a bunch of other things that are illegal, but niggas do all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Smoking weed has a stigma to it. Still has a stigma to it to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that the fact that people don't do or they don't use prostitutes as frequently or as readily as maybe people would buy weed is because you a fucking nigga, you a simp, nigga. You buying pussy, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like an ego thing at that point, you know what I'm saying? That's the real reason why I think most people don't buy. It's just like, yo, who am I that I have to buy pussy? I can't just get it myself. You know what I'm saying? That's my line of thinking, at least. I don't know. Maybe everybody doesn't think like me.
Well, the one thing I would think about is the fact that in terms of society, right? Because if it was legalized, I'm not gonna lie, the way how society is shifting right now is all you need is an influencer that has a certain amount of pull with a mass group of people and say it's okay, or even say, hey, I take part of this, and people are gonna hop on that bandwagon regardless.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I go for rich niggas pay for pussy a lot, low key, but they don't really pay for pussy as much as they pay for discretion. A lot of them will do it because they may be in relationships and whatnot, and you know what I'm saying, you can't really, like, you could just go screw random girls, but I guess they pay people if they have like a life, they have a family, they have an image to uphold, to just keep their mouth shut in a sense and just be able to do what they do freely type shit. I mean, I don't know, like, it's, I don't know, this to me at least, there's still something about, like, it's almost like the difference between beating a game and then just buying the fucking or putting in the end of the game cheat. In a sense, there's an honor involved in actually accomplishing the end goal.
Right. Instead of using Game Shark.
Instead of using Game Shark. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That it kind of it kind of swaps some power around a bit. I can see that.
Wouldn't it also flood the market and drive the prices down?
No.
Well, obviously, you know, if you had just like an influx of women selling sex, there'd be a greater supply, right?
But who's to say there would be an influx?
Well, obviously, you know, look how many women are doing OnlyFans right now.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, obviously, if
OnlyFans and prostitution is not the same thing. Selling your body for sex and selling your body not for sex are two totally different things.
Wait,
however, a woman should be able to do whatever she wants with her body, just like a man can.
So lastly, do you think if prostitution was cheap and accessible, there'd be less rape and sexual violence?
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but I think if men could be able to get it up a little bit more for women that are willing, there would be a lot less crime.
Do you think that grape is about sex or about power?
Grape.
Power. Power and control.
So if grape isn't about sex, if it's all about power, why wouldn't evil men just assault women and not bother having sex with them?
But some do.
Right, but isn't it really all about power and also sex?
No, I feel like it's more about power and control, and feeling like that you took something like that is just priceless, but you have that, like, that you did that, and that you violate that person in that way, that you have some type of, like, that you have that over that person, like.
Right, but I mean, like, you know, whenever a guy would get robbed or mugged or beat up and stuff, why don't they have sex with
that's
men?
a valuable, that's like materialistic stuff. But when you like put a price on that, and then it still get taken as like, you're not only robbing me, but you're violating and doing that also. So it's like a combine of like violations.
Wouldn't men be more fulfilled and less angry and violent?
Yes.
Do you think there would be less rape and sexual assault?
Great.
Yes.
In some cases, men see someone who is a prostitute as a way to take out their frustrations.
That's also
because
very
they're
true.
paying her.
Sure, but I mean, if it was done safely with brothels and regulated, then wouldn't that be less likely to happen?
Possibly, possibly not. It depends on how well the brothel is run as a
Right, but I'm
business.
saying, I mean, why would that be any more likely to happen than, you know, in just any normal monogamous relationship?
Very good point.
If you are putting a profit on it or you're not, there's always that sick individual that's still going to want to just take what's not theirs, even if it has a price on it.
I don't think it would eliminate it entirely, but you don't even think that it might even reduce the numbers? Wouldn't men be more fulfilled and less angry and violent?
Probably, that's possible, yeah.
Do you think there would be less rape and sexual assault?
Grape.
I think people are always going to do that off of some seeking power over someone else sort of thing. But yeah. If anyone who's graping out of desperation, I think absolutely you have a solution there. But
don't you think it would reduce it at least?
Yeah, I mean, you would have an impact on some numbers, but yeah, you're always going to have somebody, like I said, trying to exercise power.
So, guys can sell sex too for both sides of sexual orientation. Why doesn't the interviewer ask that too? Because the value of dick is very low.
Yeah, like just because you can doesn't mean women are out here paying for that when they can get it for free or like get paid for it. Type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the
It's very simple.
So quick question: do you feel like if men as a whole were to necessarily put a price on their parts, you think the tide would shift?
No.
Hell no. Nobody's gonna.
Because niggas are gonna just want to it's, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, there's a price here, but we can make a discount for you.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you know, like.
It's not firm pricing.
Men, I'm not gonna say men urges. Who is to say there are some women that are desperate? But you're talking about, like, outliers.
Yeah.
Women generally don't have to, like, you know, you ever, like the dude says, he's like, men have sex for who they can, and then women marry who they can, or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. I forgot the exact.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Was it like men have sex with who they can, women have sex with who they want? Or
Choose.
Something like that.
And then it's like the inverse, like marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not for nothing though. Like, like men are desperate. Like, there's men out here who will really just do the most. You know what I'm saying? They're desperate for that type of attention, especially if they're not really getting it. Or maybe, I don't know, you may just be a little bit different in the head or some shit like that. But the overall value of it isn't really. There's a reason why women traditionally have been the ones who have done that kind of work. Men are dying of thirst in the desert. Women are dying of thirst in an ocean. What that mean? I don't know. I gotta dissect that one. I gotta dissect it. Oh, I guess.
Yeah, because there's a scarcity when it comes to men, but women is a plethora. And yeah, I mean.
Yeah, baby. Yo, it's complicated back again with that logic, man. This logic is very, very on point as always. Through line is very cohesive as per usual. Shout out to It's Complicated.
That's the first time you seen one of those. It was pretty dope.
Nah, he has a bunch of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, most of the time, I feel like the rhetoric is often the same, but I think that the appeal is just seeing how different people answer it.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
this one was very specific though too about prostitution and stuff like that.
Right.
I kind of like the way how he actually asks the questions too, because it's not like he's out here like sitting down
aggressively
bantering people.
I feel like everybody in this video, except for one specific group of 2 women, gave pretty good answers.
There's
specific group
two, let's just say ones that were brunette and ones that were blonde.
Oh yeah. But hey,
shout out to It's Complicated, and shout out to y'all for watching. If y'all got to the end, y'all are a real gang. Thankfully, you guys might have enjoyed our little conversations in between. Drop a like, drop a comment.
Yeah,
subscribe.
Put your post notifications on so you
Yes.
know when we are live.
And
every
share
Tuesday
the
and Thursday.
videos. Share it. Yo.
Dating coach already. If you don't got no game, then improve yourself.
I don't see what that has to do with
what that got to do with what you said.
That has no, there's no correlation there.
And it's like, all right.
Now you're going against what you said, low key.
But then, so women will say that, but then women will also be like, oh, I don't like being approached. I don't like people talking to me. So now it's like, all right, well, do you want men to approach your music? Is that like...
That's really... I feel like it really just depends on who does it. Like...
I feel like
and then that goes back to the objectifying and all that shit. I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
I feel like stuff like that is very like selective, because I feel like it can be, say for example,